Hey everybody, how you doing? My name is Alejandro Bernard, and today I'm going to be talking about this great tune called Black Superhero by Robert Glasper. In this video, I'm going to show you how to play it at the keyboard, and I'm also going to lecture on some of the chords and the progressions and why it's so significant. And I want to distinguish between the studio version as well as the live recorded version. I'm also going to add that I have not scripted this, so this is totally off the cuff, and I'm just going to promise you right now that I'm not going to waste your time. So at the end of this video, I'm going to go back and edit, and if there's anything, just like that mistake right there, if there's anything else that's on here that doesn't move the video forward, I'm going to delete it. Okay, so we're just going to get right down to business. So the greatest value to this video is in the description. There's a backing track played by live musicians, Ben Bruno on the drums, Pete Anderson on the bass. It's a beautiful track, it's well mixed, and there's sheet music. So if you read music, all you got to do is go to the description, download it for free. It's off Google Drive. It's not even my website. I'm not trying to drive traffic. Just grab it, you can have it, and then you can play over it, okay? All right, so let me play through the progression slowly. You can watch my hands if you want. Okay, so he does that the first time, and then the second time, it's almost the same. But he adds this. Okay, he adds this beautiful E minor 11 chord that has this crunchy voicing, right? Okay, so the moves are, if you just want to practice this by rote, you start with the first move, right? That first chord, you have C, then you move to A, and then you move to your next chord, right? And I'd use your middle and your pinky here because you have these thirds, and then you can land on this chord. Now, if you look at my right hand, this is an awkward space, right? To put your hand like this. I mean, just look at that. If I tried to hold that all day, I'd go tense, right? I get tendinitis, maybe even 12 tendinitis. Okay, so just if you're having trouble with that grip, you can just substitute it. You can play this instead. Right? And you can just play like a C major chord and then have this open fifth in the right hand. Okay, so that's basically it. You know, the first time, use your thirds, right? And then the second time, and again, if you look at this spread, right, this is a big spread. You might not have hands big enough to that, so you can do this instead. Okay, and you can play like a D chord. And that should be okay, right? Hopefully, you know, you have to work on your 4 to 5 position there. These are some weaker fingers, but that might be able to get through. Okay, so right? And you can just jam on the playing track, okay? On the studio version, Robert Glasper, he doesn't play that. He plays this. He plays something more like, right? And so he grabs more of this motion, right? And even though these are just triads, right, you can feel the movement. All right, and on the studio version, he does not put the F in his right hand. He plays it more like this, right? And so just the important aspect about that is that it does matter. There is a big difference between this chord and this chord, right? But also, there's not that big of a difference. So if you're out there composing and you're spending half a day, do I add the third? Do I not add the third? Right? You know, it doesn't make that big of a difference, right? The whole big picture was what really matters. And even this first chord is so striking. My goodness, right? He has this simple melody. This is more like a folk melody, but the way that he dresses it up is what makes it so exquisite. I mean, those chords are super lovely. He didn't have to play this chord, right? He could have played this. You know, he just played straight up A minor. But he decided to do A13 sharp 9. Right? And that's why he's Robert Glasper. So why did he play something different in the studio than he did in a live performance? And I think I have a reason why. So if you watch the video that I've linked in the description on The Fallon Show, you see that he's the one that starts off the song, right? They have an introductory song, and then he has to kick off the next song. So it's really important that he indicates what the tempo is. And if you do the studio version, it's too loosey-goosey. So when you do this version, it's a little more simple, and it's just very clear. 2, 3. Right? And then the band can just come in. Right? So if you play it the other way, right? It's not as clear, right? And he can be more percussive with his hands. So I think that's the difference in why he decided to do it that way. Even more on the sound. Okay, so let's say, for example, you put a B flat in the bass. Right? That's a chord. Right? And it has the 9 in the melody. And it's like a diminished chord. Right? Bill Evans might have played that. Right? But you can play it too. So let's say you're playing a song like Stella by Starlight, right? And you're in the middle of the form. Right? You can do that there. Anytime you have a tonic major chord, you can start here, play that on top, right? And then you can resolve, right? You can resolve this, what is it, that sharp fifth. You can go to the 5, you can go to the 6, okay? And then this minor third really wants to go to the major third, okay? All right, everybody. Well, that wraps it up for today's video. Thank you so much for sticking around. I hope that you found it useful. I hope that you learned something today. Again, there's sheet music. There's a backing track. If you wanted any of the isolated audio files, you can find them on my Patreon page. So if you just want the drums by themselves or the piano or even the full mix track, you can find it on my Patreon. So for as little as $1 a month, you can have access to all my videos. And even if that's too much, don't even worry about it. Just watching this video is a huge support. So I appreciate your time. I thank you, and I'll see you at the next one. Take care, everybody.